What's up, guys? Welcome to the first episode of From the Other Side. I have a special guest with me, Zaire. This is my buddy. She's had a lot of experiences with ghosts from the other side. So today, we're going to just talk a little bit. And she's going to tell some of her stories, and I'm going to tell some of mine. So here we go. Let's get started. So you want to tell the people at home a little bit about yourself?
Yes. Okay, so I'm Zaire. There's really not much to know. I'm gonna just jump straight into my stories because thinking about it just made me feel kind of It's a lot of stuff that's happened that my folks don't believe, but I know for a fact it's true. Okay, ghosts are real. If y'all don't believe in them, you might want to start. So my very first scariest encounter. Okay, so I was sitting in my kitchen. All of my family were outside chilling, having a good time. Guess I was antisocial growing up. I didn't want to be around nobody, but I should have went outside that night. So I'm sitting there, I'm watching TV or whatever. Across from the living room is our kitchen. So I'm sitting there and I'm watching TV. Next thing I know, I swear, all the cabinets in the kitchen just like swung open. So I just sat there for a minute, I'm in shock. So I get up and I'm trying to run. Kid you not, I'm running in place. Like I'm taking off, but I'm running in place.
Like Scooby-Doo and Shaggy?
Yes. Like I was picking up smoke, trying to leave. And then eventually, whatever was holding me, like it was holding me in place, it let me go. And, you're taking off really fast. You fall and hit the ground. Yes. So I hit the ground. So I got up real quick and I ran outside and I told my folks, y'all, the kitchen cabinet just like swung open. And I was running in place. And then the ghost pushed me down on the ground. And they're just looking at me like
you're crazy.
You're crazy. And I was embarrassed because there was a lot of folks outside, like at the house. And I'm just like busting through the house like, oh my God. And they're just like, okay, you might need to go to sleep.
It's real crazy, like when you experience something and you tell people and they look at you like you're crazy.
Exactly. Like, why would you make up something? Like, why would you make up something like that?
Because let me tell you what, I was having a bunch of experiences, right? And Lamar was like, weird stuff was happening, like our TV, he would turn the TV off, like 15 minutes later, 10 minutes later, the TV would cut back on.
Yeah.
And he was like, that's weird, you know what I mean? But I was having experiences, like crazy experiences, that it couldn't be, it was obvious it was something spiritual, you know what I mean? Yeah. And I would tell Lamar, and he would be looking at me like, and I kind of felt like he was thinking like, is my husband crazy? Like, am I going to have to go put him in a mental institute? Like, is my husband a little crazy? And I was like, and I would be looking at him like, I'm not crazy. I promise you this stuff is happening. And then I've told this story here on my channel before. We had went to bed one night and I saw somebody walk past our bedroom door. Like, the door was closed, but you know how the light is around the frame, right?
Oh, yeah.
And you've been here in my house and there's a wall right there when you walk past our bedroom. And so I knew a person could just walk by and keep on going because there's a wall there. And I told Lamar, I said, somebody just walked past our bedroom door. And he was like, oh, you're crazy. You're just tired. Just go to sleep. Nobody's in the house. I was like, I'm telling you, somebody or something just walked past the bedroom door, right? So we go to sleep. He gets up. He had to be at work at like 5 o'clock in the morning. So he would get up at 4 o'clock and get ready, and he would leave it by like 4:30. So he gets up, gets showered, get dressed. He's like walking to the front door. He realizes he forgets his keys, right? So he turns around there on the kitchen counter. When he turns around and goes back to the kitchen, every freaking door, cabinet door and drawer was open in our kitchen. He just walked back to the bedroom, woke me up and was like, come here. And I was like, what? I was like, what is it? And he was like, come here. I need you to say something. And so I walked into the kitchen. He goes, I need you to deal with this today. And I think that's when he really realized, like
there's something.
Okay, yeah, there's something definitely. And then we had come back from New Orleans, and we've seen a psychic when we were in New Orleans. I love to go see, because I feel like the psychics in New Orleans are like really legit,
Yeah.
This psychic she told me things that nobody else knew, and she had told me about these ghosts coming to see me and stuff. But when I went in, I said, you know what? I'm going to see if she's real or not. I'm just going to answer yes or no to all of her questions. I wasn't going to give her anything, Yeah. I went to get up to go leave, and she grabbed my arm, and she said, before I got up, she goes, is there anything else you want to talk about? And I was like, no. So I went to go get up, and she grabbed my arm, and she said, "They're not here to scare you. They just want to talk to you." And I immediately broke out squalling. I was like squalling. And she said, "You know what that means?" And I said, "Yes." And she said, "Sit down." And then we talked for a little while longer. She told me it's not something to be scared of. Yes, there are scary ones that will come to you. But, she told me how to deal with that. So I try not to look at it as a scary thing anymore. It was scary at first.
Yeah.
Some of the things that happened to me. But I kind of see it as if I was on the other side and I was a spirit and I was trying to get somebody's attention, I would do all the things that have happened to me to get somebody's attention. You know what I mean? So I don't look at it as a scary thing. Now, there have been some times when some things have messed with me that is very scary, but I believe in God, and I believe in calling in the name of Jesus, know, and so, but yeah, I mean, I've had some very scary experiences, but we went to New Orleans, and it was the first night back. So we have a rainbow vacuum, and on the top, you have to mash the button, and it's very hard to mash. Like, you got to use some force to mash this button down, right?
Yeah.
We're laying in bed. We hadn't gotten in bed probably 30 minutes, 45 minutes. And on a rainbow vacuum, it's a vacuum, but it also purifies your air. You can run it to purify your air. So we usually leave it out because we run it to like purify our air and stuff. And we had just gotten in bed when we were in bed for like maybe 30 or 45 minutes. All of a sudden, the freaking vacuum cleaner come on. The rainbow came on. And I just said, and Lamar said, "That is the vacuum." And I said, "Go turn it off." And he said, "Hell no, I ain't going to turn it off." He said, "You go turn it off." So I was like, it takes a lot of force to mash that button down. You know what I mean? So, and I think that's when he was really starting to be like, okay, there is really some scary stuff going on. But our apartment attaches to another apartment where a guy took his life.
Oh.
So I don't know if that has anything to do with some of the activity here in our house or what, but I know that he did take his life. So I don't know. Maybe that's why there's a lot of activity here. But yeah.
Have you talked to the people that live in the house that he passed in? Have you, do you know who stays there?
It's another set of people. He lived there by himself.
Okay.
And then when he passed, some more people moved in. So, but it's just crazy. So I'm like, is he trying to communicate with me? Or
exactly.
No, I have been scared here a couple of times. Yeah. And I'm just like, is that him or is that somebody else? You know what I mean? So
what if you brought ghosts with you from New Orleans? Like, there's so much stuff that is in New Orleans, voodoo and all types of crap. Something could have used.
I mean, it might have. I mean, I'm not opposed to that. I mean, as long as it ain't a demon, as long as the devil, it ain't the devil, and it's not a demon, it doesn't really bother me too much, because, I've went to graveyards and, and that kind of stuff, and the night when we did the graveyard, going through the graveyard that's here on my channel, I felt like we were talking to a little girl that night. I just felt like it was a little girl, right? So before we left, I said out loud when I was praying, y'all cannot follow us home. Y'all have to stay here in the name of Jesus, right? So everybody had ridden with me to the graveyard. So I take everybody back to their cars. And I'm driving home and I just have this mental vision, and I could not get it out of my mind, of her that little girl sitting in the back seat. And I was just like, Jeremy, don't look in the mirror. And, I was like, don't look back there, because if she is sitting back there, you are going to take this car off the road. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I was like, but I just felt like in my spirit that she was sitting back there in the back seat.
Got the little ghost girl in here.
Little ghost girl.
Playing with your makeup and stuff.
Little ghost girl is hanging out in my beauty room.
No.
So, but then I didn't feel her after that. Yeah, after that, I didn't feel her anymore that night. I just felt like she was just chilling in the backseat of my car, like just riding with me. So, yeah.
I'm freaked out. Just like whenever he said something about the door frames, I remember when I was little, I used to lay in my bed and then I would just look under the door, because every night, I would see like shadows and they were like moving like
little feet?
Yes. Like, it was weird though, but it was like so, y'all, I don't know, it was like so small.
That is crazy.
But I would just see like all night, just something like running like under the door, basically. I don't know what it was, but I told Mama, I was like, I think it's like something or like multiple things like skinny stick legs running back and forth.
Stick legs.
Running back and forth.
So Granddaddy Long Legs.
Yes,
father.
maybe it was some, I don't know what it was, but it would scare me so bad. And then in our old house we had a closet, but the door was tore off. It's an old house, so we had a curtain over our closet. That curtain moved too much for me. Too much for me. Creepy. And then I had a toy in the closet that I got whenever me and my twin sister were born. And there were porcelain dolls. We got it from this rich lady. She was like, oh, give these to your babies. Now, my dad told me, like, when we were born, it kind of seemed like she was, like, trying to take us from him.
What?
Yes. Like, he said it'd be times where he'll be at her house, working on her yard. He used to have a landscape company. And we'll be in there with her. She'll always want to babysit us. But I feel like, y'all...
Was she a white lady?
A rich old white lady. And I guess she wanted me and my sister. So she gave us these...
She was a witch.
Right. She gave us two twin dolls. And I feel like maybe she...
Put a spell or something on them?
Yes. And I swear to God, their eyes would move and everything.
See, I'm so scared of dolls. I can't do dolls. Like... My grandmother had a whole room. It was nothing but like these curio cabinets full of dolls. And I was too terrified to go in that room by myself.
They're scary.
They're so scary.
They're scary.
Because I felt like they would, like their eyes would follow you.
Yes, but I swear to God, I seen it. I seen their eyes move. So my mom put them in the closet and covered them up with a curtain. I swear at night I just hear something or like feel something just like...
Tapping on the curtain?
Yes, and the curtain will move. But it was like a small little ripple, so I felt like maybe I'm tripping. That was the little doll's hands.
She's like, let me out.
Let me play. I want to play. But like my dad was like, I should never got those dolls from her because ever since we got those dolls, stuff has been happening. And that was like, I felt like she wanted y'all, couldn't have y'all, so she did something with those dolls.
A spell or something on those dolls.
Yes.
That's creepy. I hate dolls.
I do too.
Dolls scared the shit out of me.
Like, I'm shaking thinking about it because it's true,
they're
y'all.
So creepy.
I swear. They're yeah.
I mean, look at the dolls like Annabelle, which that's a Raggedy Ann doll, but
yeah,
like her and then Robert the doll that's in Florida. Like he's sitting in they're both in glass cases.
Yeah.
But they're supposed to be like possessed by like these demons or whatever, have this spirit inside of them that they have to be behind glass that's anointed. You know what I mean? That is scary.
That is.
Can you imagine like a little Raggedy Ann doll like jumping up and coming after you
with a knife, like girl?
Yeah,
get back.
I would shit my pants.
Yeah,
I would literally if I saw a little Raggedy Ann doll running towards me, she wouldn't even have to stab me. I would drop dead of a heart attack. I would shit my pants and drop dead of a heart attack. Like, it would scare the shit out of me.
That stuff is weird, but I believe in all of that. Everything I believe in. I feel like an object. I feel like a brush can have something. Like, anything can have anything attached to it if it wanted to. I swear. Because they're powerful. Like, ghosts and stuff are very powerful.
And it's crazy because... Well, I've always heard, like, conflicting things. Like, I've always heard, like, a demon has to, like, a person has to be alive. It has to be a human or something. Or a human. Well, I know that Jesus cast the demons into the pigs, and then they ran off the mountain, off into the water or whatever. But I've always heard, like, it has to be a human or something like that for a demon to be inside of it, But this... I don't think the Bible really says, so we don't know. You know what I'm saying?
We have no clue.
Or maybe a demon's just attached to it. It's not inside of it. It's just attached to it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, I don't know. Dolls are freaking creepy.
You still on that doll?
Dolls are so creepy. Like, they just creep me out. Like, besides our TV, like, when the activity really started to happen in our house, I don't know if you noticed, like, when you come in, like, in our foyer area, there's that cabinet right there, that black cabinet. The doors would, like, open. Like you would go to bed with them both open. The next day, like, one would be closed. And it would, like, alternate. And it was so freaking scary. Like, it's so, because you're like, what the fuck is doing this?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You're like, I know I'm not crazy. You know, and then Lamar even went and got another TV. Like, he upgraded the size of our TV.
Mm-hmm.
And then
Doing
that
the
TV
same
would do
thing?
the same thing.
Yeah, that
so it's
proves.
not like a factory thing, like a defect or something. It's like something is, and he got to the point where he would say, I'm turning the TV off now, do not turn it back on. And you would literally have to say that, and then it wouldn't come back on.
So it's listening.
Yeah. Yeah, like, you know, I mean, those are like the things that, you know, I don't know, Lamar is not the kind of person that would tell me if he had other experiences. But Jaw said that he was laying on the couch one night and he was, I guess, laying facing like our kitchen.
Mm-hmm.
And he said he just happened to look up and saw something dark, a dark shadow, like go around the corner right there into our hallway.
Just like we have this
and
ghost.
I was like, oh shit.
We have this ghost in our house and my dad is the only one who does not see it. But our living room, no one really goes in there.
Mm-hmm.
But I swear it'd be a figure just standing in front of the front door. The way our house is set up, like we go in and out the back door.
Yeah.
That's how they made it.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, so no one really goes to the front door in the living room. But we will see a figure just standing there by the door. Just standing there by the door.
Like, can you make out any facial features or anything? Or is it just like a fuzzy shadow person?
It just like, really? It sounds creepy, but it kind of looks like my dad.
No way.
Yeah, it's like it's built like my dad. Or maybe my grandfather, because they were built the same. My grandfather passed.
Well, see, my grandfather passed too, and it's so crazy because when my grandfather passed away, like, my cousins and my grandmother saw him. Like, my cousin said that I guess her kids, like, had a playroom or whatever, and she had went in there with the kids one day, and she said that she just happened to see him standing outside the window. Like, he was looking in the window.
Like, see his face?
Yes, and this is a cousin of mine that's very religious. She does not, like, talk about spirits. She's not, like, a believer like that.
Yeah.
And she said, I literally looked over and Papa was standing outside the playroom, like, window. The window.
Oh, no.
Yeah. And so then my grandmother, before she passed away, she said that she had went into her bedroom one night and she always stood at the edge of her bed and took her jewelry off, put her nightgown on. She said she had done that and she was about to pull back the covers and she looked over and my granddad was standing there on his side of the bed. And she just looked at him and then she, like, reached her hand out and they went to get in the bed. And then she said he just disappeared.
That is crazy. Like, my grandma tells me, like, she'll see my granddad. He'll just be walking around the house like he usually did.
It makes me think, like, are those, like, I don't know, because there's people that say that angels won't come in, like, the vision of your dead loved ones. But then I'm just like, how do you know that Jesus don't let people come and, like, visit
Exactly.
you?
Especially
You know what I'm
if
saying?
they look like them. You know what I'm saying?
Or
like,
they're going... Well, so there's two options. There's the option that Jesus is like, yeah, you can go visit them, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they come down here. Or there's the option that it's a demon that looks like your loved one.
Which is scary.
Which is very scary.
Yeah.
Which is, like, poop your pants scary.
Yeah, because...
That you think that, like, oh, that's my grandpa. And it's really
not.
a demon.
Right.
And you're like, grandpa! And it's like... You know what I'm saying?
Because they do take form. They can take...
Yes, to trick you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because the devil works like that. He works to, like, lull you into this position.
Especially when you're vulnerable or you're grieving. That's when he comes.
Yes.
Like
your weakest moments.
Yes, that's when he comes. I feel like that is true. And then I feel like there's just, like, demons, like, placed on the earth as human form. Like, I feel like...
Really? Like how the Bible says, like, angels entertain us?
Yeah, I feel like... Because I feel like... Okay, this is just me. But, like, I know, like, I learned in church, like, God gave Satan, you know, a number amount of years to do, you know, whatever, and corrupt as many people as he could. He was like, that's how he knows who his true believers are and stuff like that. So I feel like Satan can do the same thing as what God can do, which is send people or, like, figures, like, to the earth and just, like, either corrupt or, you know, change their life. I feel like Satan can send demons in human form to just
or possess
your
people.
Life. Yeah.
Or they possess people.
Yeah.
And that's how he tricks people.
I feel like
I really, I mean, I'm not one of these people that's like a super spiritualist or super, like, Christian that's like, if somebody kills somebody, it's like, that was a demon, that's the devil.
Yeah.
Not necessarily, I'm not going to say that, because there is such thing, let's be real, as mental illness and stuff like that. You know, just because somebody does something like that does not mean it's the devil. There is such thing as mental illness and stuff. So, but you know, a lot of times Christians want to say it's the devil. Not always. Sometimes it's mental illness. Like, and your loved ones are showing signs of mental illness and they don't get help until it gets to a point where they do something crazy.
Yep, they get to
and kill somebody or abduct somebody. You know what I'm saying? Like something like that. So, I don't know. I mean, the Bible talks about us fighting a spiritual warfare. You know what I'm saying? So, but I don't know. Like, I was told by the psychic, you know, that I could hear them and they knew that the way she explained it to me, it was like I was like a beacon and they were attracted to me, is the best way I can explain how she explained it to me.
Yeah.
So, but sometimes you're like, I don't want that.
Yeah.
It's like,
well,
you know, like, especially like when we were on vacation last time and I was up for about 6 hours, scared to death, laying in the bed because something kept walking back and forth, sitting on the bed, touching my arm. I mean, making these sounds, scared the living shit out of me. I was wide awake for like 6 hours, afraid to go to sleep. Because I had never experienced, it was like, it was just trying to get my attention, but it didn't like it's hard to explain. It scared me in one way and it didn't scare me in one way. I didn't feel like I was fixing to be possessed or anything.
Yeah.
But I felt like it was so aggressive, like trying to get my attention. And a part of me wanted to just scream, I know you're here, what do you want? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But then I'm like, well, what if it was something demonic or something?
Yeah.
You know, what if it was... So I was like, I'm just going to lay here and pretend like I don't hear it. You know what I mean? Like, let me just pretend like I don't hear it or see it.
No, I probably talk, though. I probably mess myself up.
But, yeah. Is there any more stories that you want to tell?
I think I can't really think of anything.
Okay.
Because I'm just stuck on the dolls now. That
scary. Dolls are so scary.
Oh, this is the last thing I want to mention. So, like, I feel like ghosts can get to you and like your dreams and stuff. I feel like the devil can do it too. I used to have these two scary dreams all the time. So it'd be one dream where it's this girl in a white dress, long black hair, and she's running in the woods as fast as she can. It's like a green background, and she's running and running and running. And then like she falls down this big old black hole, and then when she hits the bottom, you know, it's a thud, and I feel it in my sleep. And I like jump up like that. It needs to happen all the time. All the time.
Do you think that maybe that is like a spirit like showing you what happened to them?
Maybe so.
Or maybe it's just your mind. But you said you had it. I mean, I've had the same dream over and over and over and over again. I had a dream one time. It was the same dream, but it happened to me over and over that I was in a car wreck. And my car was like teetering off this edge or something. I don't know. And I was trying to reach up to like get to the thing. And I kept having this dream over and over and over that I was stuck in my car, like I couldn't get out of my car. Well, then I was involved in a car wreck and the body buckled around the doors and they had to bust the window out to get me out of the car. I was literally trapped in the car.
Like in real life?
Yes, and the gas tank was busted in, so there was gas like pouring down the road because I had just filled my tank up the day before.
Yeah.
And this guy he had knocked me out because I had hit the side of the door on impact. And when I came to, they were like banging on the window, you know, and the guy was like, I'm fixing to bust the window because we can't get the door open. And so they had to break the window to pull me out. And I just kept thinking like that was like almost the same dream I kept having over and over and over leading up to the months of my accident. So it's like maybe like do we get to see like glimpses of stuff that's going to happen to us?
I don't want to fall in a big old black hole.
But maybe what if somebody else did and that spirit or that person is like showing you what happened to them?
Yeah, because I had that dream only in the old house that I used to live in, but it burnt down now. But I will always have that dream. And then I will always have another dream that like I'm sitting in the back of my dad's truck. I'm like, you know, in the tailgate part of the truck. And there's birds everywhere. You know, they're flying around at first. And all of a sudden, they just start to drop dead.
On you? Oh, they're just dead?
No, they're like falling from the sky. Dead
Oh, that's
birds.
not good. What kind of birds were they?
They're black. Like black crows.
Crows are a bad sign anyway. But they were dying. So, I mean, maybe that's a good sign.
I don't know.
Maybe that was like showing you like something evil or something bad around you was disappearing or dying.
I hope
was
so.
leaving
I
you.
hope so, but it just seems so vivid
Weird
and so
dreams
real.
are so weird, but I feel like spirits can speak to you through dreams. Because my grandmother has come to me numerous times during big times of my life, like my 30th birthday and that kind of stuff. So I believe like spirits can come to you in your dream and talk to you and tell you things. You know what I mean? And sometimes I think they try to get our attention, like in the real world, and we're just so busy and fast, and our lives are so fast paced that they can't get our attention. Like unless we're laying in bed and they're freaking walking back and forth and grabbing and touching, that they can't get our attention. So they have to come to us in dreams.
Yeah.
I remember one time I worked for Walmart, and there's been numerous people that have died in this store, like literally died, like customers that had like aneurysms and that kind of stuff, you know. And I remember one night this is when I was just a regular stalker, and I was stalking on my aisle, and I looked, and it was like something, like I got these goosebumps, and the hair on the back of my neck stood up, and I felt like somebody was staring at me, and I just happened to look down, and there was a shadow figure at the end of the aisle.
Just looking at you.
And it was just an outline, like a black outline. And then I like blinked my eyes like that, and it was gone.
Mm-mm.
It was not a human. It was a black shadow. It was a shadow.
That is scary.
Yeah, in a Walmart. You're like, I'm at work.
Right.
You know
and
what
I'm saying ghosts and stuff.
Yeah. I mean, I've experienced creepy things even at work.
See, I haven't had that happen, and I don't want it to happen.
Like whenever I worked for Polo, we had a really small back room, so we had these racks that would like roll, and you would put product in it, and you could roll them on down to open up to get to the other products. And there would be nights when it would just be two of us closing, and we would be on the sales floor, and you would hear those racks rolling and hitting each other. And it would get and it got to the point where some of the kids, because I had kids that were like in high school and just got out of high school, that they were too scared that they didn't want to close at nighttime.
Yeah,
because the bathroom and everything else is back there, so you had to go to the back to go pee, and we would literally go back there together, and one would stand outside the door while the other one like went to the bathroom, because it's so creepy. Because if you're on the sales floor and you're like folding up, you know, you've already closed the register down, you're folding up, making sure that you're recovering the floor, everything's zoned up and straightened, and you just hear the racks start moving and hitting each other, the things start moving on the tracks. It's scary.
Yeah.
I mean, even people have even told me, like, when I'm posting my videos, they say that they see orbs in the videos. So it'll be interesting to see if we get any orbs in this video.
I hope
to see
not.
if there's any spirits that are here with us. But people will say at this time there was an orb that came through your video.
That is scary.
Yeah.
You don't ever notice it, like you don't ever feel anything.
Sometimes I don't ever feel anything when I'm filming. Now, like sometimes, like I might catch something when I'm editing or something, and I'm like, was that like a piece of dust or something? But there have been like orbs that have come through, and it was crazy because one came through and like went in like inside of me. And people were like, you didn't see that, like, when you were editing and, like, it go inside of you? And I was like, no. Yeah. It was crazy. Yeah. So, but I guess that's all we have for you guys for episode 1. Thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you, Zaire, for being here and being my first guest.
Oh, no problem.
Guys, make sure that you tune in to her YouTube channel. You want to give them your information?
Yes. So it's just Zaire Caddell, is Zaire, and then Caddell, Caddell. Don't make fun of my page. Hold on.
She's new. She's a new YouTuber.
I'm very new.
She just started her channel.
I need to get back on it, so I just have like a little storytelling, but I'm going to find some more stuff to do, but I would appreciate I'm
pushing her to really start posting on her channel, y'all.
Yes, I need to.
I even sat down and told her, like, every week, like, these days, what kind of videos she posts.
I still got that note. I still got it.
She's gonna start working on it.
I'm going to work on it.
Is there any other... What about your Instagram? You want to tell them your Instagram?
I mean, I don't really do much on Instagram, but
or any other media that you want to?
Facebook is the same as YouTube. So, if you want to, follow me on there, go ahead.
Right.
But
So thank you guys for tuning in. I love you guys, and I'll see you guys in the next video.
Bye.
Bye, guys.